Natalia Bonner. Welcome back. Okay, I'm excited to be here today and share a little sneak peek, kind of a snippet of the quilting I did on this incredible quilt. So this cool quilt is one that my client Lianne made and let me custom machine quilt it for her. This quilt lends so much creativity. I just absolutely loved quilting this quilt, and I think you're going to see just a little sneak peek of why I love quilting this quilt so much. So with this quilt and the majority of the other quilts that I quilt, I share my process more in depth. I walk you through my process of quilting quilts over in the PNQ Academy. If you've not heard of the PNQ Academy, if you haven't joined, definitely check it out on our website, pieceandquilt.com. We have over 90 videos where I go in depth exclusively through my process of machine quilting. So a few details about this quilt. The view that you're going to be seeing here is a little bit different. It's almost as if you're standing right here in front of me and I'm quilting. So it's a little bit different than what I usually share, but I think you'll still find something fun with it. The thread that I'm going to be using here today is So Fine, color number 401. Obviously, I'm doing all of my quilting here on my Gammill 22-inch machine. The quilting that you will see is hand-guided quilting. I have my stitch length set at 13 stitches per inch. I'm using So Fine thread on my top, bottom line thread on my bobbin. Because I am doing ruler work, I do have my ruler foot on my machine, and I also have my extended base plate here on the bottom. I love ruler work, so you know that I share a lot of videos using rulers. The ruler that I'm using here today is my 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler, and I do have our Piece and Quilt pop socket ruler grip on the top side to help me hold on to that ruler and have a lot more control. So you can pick those up on our website, pieceandquilt.com as well. One more thing, I am using one layer of the Quilter Stream wool batting. I love this batting. I love the texture and the definition, the way it quilts, but it also washes up. It's dreamy wool batting. Haha, no pun intended, but really, I love this quilt and I hope you find just a little bit of inspiration. Don't forget to check out the Piece and Quilt Academy for even more. Let's get stitching! All right, so you all know that I love machine quilting, I love ruler work, and I love bringing secondary designs to life. That's exactly what I'm doing here on this fun quilt. So this view today is a little bit different angle than what I generally share with you here. I think it's fun to just kind of see different views and different angles. This angle is if you were standing right in front of me as I'm machine quilting. So what I'm doing here, this is an hourglass block on this darling sample quilt. On this block, I am using these hourglass blocks to bring out this secondary design. So what my intent here is, there's actually these hourglass blocks on the sides of all of the blocks on this quilt. And I am quilting all of those with the same design, but I am rotating it. My intention is to create a secondary design that almost makes these blocks look like they have a giant border, kind of secondary, maybe a square and a square type design in the center of each of them with my machine quilting. So with this, I start out, I'm going to create some fun spacing using my 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler. On the outside, I start out stitching my first line 1/4 of an inch in, and then my next one is 1 inch, and then from there, I stitch 2 more lines that are 1/4 of an inch in. Now you'll see in that center section, I have a little square that creates a second secondary design. So whatever you call that. And then in my background filler, I'm going to quilt swirls. Now you can see kind of a little bit here that then in the next design, so in the darker gray triangles, I'll quilt a slight variation of the same design, filling in with figure eights, straight lines, and again with those pebbles. Now I do have a full in-depth exclusive video over in the Piece and Quilt Academy where I share the quilting on this incredible quilt from start to finish. But I hope you find just a little bit of inspiration from this peek and maybe use it in your own quilts. If you do, share your progress in our Peace and Quilt Show and Tell Facebook group on Facebook. Have a great day, everybody.